and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some of my personal tips and tricks on how to have a productive day. So these are tips and tricks that I use on a daily basis that keep me on track and making sure that I'm not ending the day feeling like I got absolutely nothing done. And I'm hoping that this video will motivate you guys to try to implement some of these strategies in your day-to-day schedule to keep you guys on track as well and make sure that you have the most productive day possible. Also, as you're watching this video, if you have any tips or tricks for us or the other subscribers that are watching, then make sure to leave them down in the comments because I always love getting your ideas. You all are always so helpful with feedback and everything. And if you're new, make sure to go ahead and subscribe and click the bell notification button so you don't miss any more of my videos. And let's go ahead and jump right into these tips. All right. So tip number one is going to just be create a schedule that works for you. And I say a schedule that works for you just because we are all in different phases of life. We all have different things going on in our lives. Some of us are stay-at-home moms. Some of us are working out of the home. Some of us work at home. Some of you are not even moms at all. So I just know that you need to know what works for you and pick a schedule that is going to actually stick. Now, it may take some trial and error. I know it has for me, especially in the last few years. This is my second year being a stay-at-home or a work-from-home mom, and my kids actually are in school all day. So I've had to tweak and mess with the schedule over and over again to get it to where it actually works. And so now I feel like I'm at a place where I can say that my schedule fits my needs for this season of life. Okay, so I know that I'm saying create a schedule for yourself, and duh, most people know that that's gonna help you have a productive day, but a lot of people don't know how to create a schedule that works for them. So what I suggest doing is first writing down all of your priorities. And I just wrote my priorities down in my little spiral notebook. I keep this notebook and jot down all kinds of ideas, list all kinds of things in this notebook. So I wanted to start with jotting down all of my priorities, the things that I'm wanting to make time for in my day-to-day schedule. Take those priorities and actually schedule them on your day-to-day schedule so you know that you are making time for every single priority that is in your life. So for me, my first block started with my morning routine, and my morning routine I've shared with you guys in the past, but it starts out with my time with God, and this could look different for everyone. So if you're wanting to schedule your time with God and have quiet time, then do it at a time that works for you. Mornings work for me just because my kids are at school, and even during the summer, I can give them a little bit of quiet time right in the morning where they're playing independently, and I go ahead and they know not to mess with me during my quiet time. And if they do come over, then I'll just tell them, hey, this is my quiet time. I'm reading my Bible or I'm doing my devotional, and they get the hint. And then I also usually work out in the mornings just because, again, my kids are at school. During the winter, this might look a little bit different, but usually I do work out first thing in the morning if I'm working out that day. And I also do my breakfast and my cleaning routine in the mornings. And then on the next line, you'll see I have devoted some time for work. And then on Wednesdays, I do go volunteer at the school, so this day looks a little bit different. And then the next thing on my schedule is a lunch break. I make sure to plan for that because otherwise I will just keep working and we'll forget to eat lunch. And then I go back to working, and when it is 2 o'clock, this is when I will stop working and I'll do my 20-minute daily cleaning task that I have scheduled for the day. I did do a video on this, how I do my 20 minutes of cleaning in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, and then I do 20 minutes or my evening routine, and that's usually about 20 minutes as well. So I'll link that video here so you can see that in case you missed it. And then in the afternoons, after I pick up the kids, we usually do homework as soon as we get home, and then it's playtime. And then on Wednesdays, we do eat dinner a little early and go to church, but then we also have our evening routines on the other days of the week. The thing that I wanted to know about when creating your schedule is you do want to give yourself time blocks for each of those priorities on your list, just to make sure that you're giving enough attention and time for each priority that it needs. All right, tip number 2 is to make sure that you're eating a healthy breakfast and lunch during the day, and of course dinner as well. But most people start out the day, and I know I'm guilty, I'm not usually hungry in the morning. So having a healthy breakfast in the morning is going to definitely give you the energy that you need, and then also a healthy lunch. Having a good and healthy lunch is key for me, just because I know that I could get in this workflow and completely skip over lunch and I'll feel fine around lunchtime, but then in the afternoon, right when my kids get home from school, I'm ready to crash and take a nap. So I'm not able to give them any attention, and they are one of my top priorities. So I want to make sure that I'm eating a good lunch so my energy doesn't crash and I'm not dead when they get home. Some ways that I do this is some weeks I will actually meal prep, and I've been doing that a lot lately because I've been eating a lot healthier. Another good idea for if you are super busy is to use Home Chef, and I love using Home Chef for weekly meals for dinner as well as lunch, because they have these 5-minute lunches that are so easy to make. They have salads and wraps and all different ones that can be made within 5 to 10 minutes. So it's really easy to prep beforehand because it's already really pre-prepped for you, and all you have to do is take it in your lunchbox and go. And if you have a microwave, you might be able to microwave part of your meal if it requires that. Some of them don't require any prep except for just putting your wrap together or whatever it is. So if you are one of those busy mamas that just needs something to make their lives so much easier, then I definitely recommend trying Home Chef. We order once a month, and I usually get 3 of the meals will be for dinner, and then I'll get 1 of the meals for lunch. Those meals are so big that usually my lunch meals will last me at least 3 to 4 days. So that's almost a whole week of not even having to prep my food. And Home Chef did sponsor this video, so they are giving you guys a code to get $30 off your first order if you want to try Home Chef. So I will make sure to leave all the links and information down in the description box so that you can check them out if that's something that you want to try to make your weekly lunches a little bit easier, or even your dinners. All right, so my next tip is to make a list of all the tasks that you need to get done and prioritize them by most important to least important, or of course for work, sometimes it'll be I need to get this task done before I can move on to this one, and so on, especially when it comes to making videos. And a really neat tool that I like to use for doing this is called Asana, and my friend Kate actually introduced me to this. I'll link her information down below. She is a professional organizer, and she actually has the Organized Influencer course. But I use this program called Asana, and you can use it on your computer or on your phone. There is an app, and I have mine on both, so they're linked together. But the reason that I like Asana is because you can create different projects within Asana. So as you can see, I have like my productive day video, I have different video ideas, but then I have different tasks underneath each of those videos that I can go in and I can create. And then when I complete each task, then I can just hit the check mark and it says that it's complete. Also, I can go within each task and write notes. So if I needed to edit a video or film a video, I might put in some different ideas that I have about when I'm filming that video or what I need to include in the editing, things like that. I can just jot down some notes, and then when I'm on that specific task, I'll go back in there and look at it. I can also use it for personal reasons, so I can use it to remind myself to do certain tasks throughout the day while the kids are at school. So for example, paying Gracie June's costume for gymnastics and signing my son up for baseball. And it just helps me keep organized with all of the really important tasks in my life. I mainly use this for work, but I did want to show you guys how you could use it for personal use as well, and I think it would work wonderfully. Another thing that you could do if you didn't want to use Asana is to use a regular planner, and I use a regular planner on a day-to-day basis as well. This is super easy for me. I just like to see my list written down. I like to highlight things off. So I usually plan out my weeks with a planner, and that's how I create lists as well. The next tip that I have is super simple, and it's just don't multitask. So most women really like to multitask, and I am horrible about this. I will start on a project and then I'll go put something up and I'll realize, oh, I need to do something over here, and then I never finish that first project. And we are so much more diligent and efficient when we pick one task, stick to it, get it done, and move on to the next task. The next tip I have is to batch your work, and this kind of goes along with not multitasking, but doing all of the tasks that are similar at one time. So for when I was a teacher, for example, I would pick a day that I would do all of my planning, and I would plan for a few weeks. The next day I would do all of my copying for the next few weeks. Then the next day I would grade papers. The next day I would insert all the grades, and the last day I would file papers or send them home. So that's kind of how I used batching as a teacher. And then for me now as a YouTuber, I will try to film the videos that I can do sit down or any of that style where I need all the same equipment. I'll film those at the same time, and then I will edit the rest of the week. So I try to batch things so that I'm not using a bunch of energy switching from task to task, if that makes sense. The next tip that I have is to make sure that you're taking breaks throughout the day. And I love doing this. My lunch break is super important to me because this is my time where after I eat lunch, I usually will sit and either watch an episode of Gossip Girl or some other crazy show on Netflix. I will scroll Instagram or read a book. And sometimes during this time, this is when I will actually call a friend or text a friend. So this gives me my friend priority as well. This is just my me time, and I feel like we all deserve that, especially on a day-to-day basis. My next tip is very important to me. It's probably the most important one on my list, and that is that when the workday is done, close it up, put it away, and leave it for tomorrow. I know that sometimes it's hard to do that because we have deadlines and things like that, but that shouldn't be on a day-to-day basis. You should be able to prioritize the things in your life and make sure that they are put in your schedule. So for me, my number one priority is God and then my family. So that's why I put this time block in there for myself to make sure that I am doing my best to balance it all. I know that I'm not balancing it all, but you guys get what I'm saying. So yes, there are times where I will get on my phone and I might scroll social media during my family time, but a lot of that time is when they are actually playing with a friend or we're just sitting around hanging out together. And the rest of the time, I'm trying to make it a point to be present and be there with my family. We like to go upstairs and play games. I play a lot of LOL Dolls and Barbies with Gracie June or Shopkins. We just got this new air hockey table. We've been playing that. Chance and Kason like to play on the Wii or play the foosball or air hockey a lot together too. So we just make it a point to spend time with each other and do our best to be present and not just hanging out on our phones while we're together. And then my very last tip is to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. And I've always been really good at this. I am not the type of person that can go on very little sleep. So I try to make sure that I am in bed by 9 or 10 every night. I usually am asleep before 10 o'clock, but we are definitely in our bed by 9 every night, except for on the weekends. And then in the mornings, I get up at 6:05 exactly, the latest I can possibly sleep without being late. So I get up at 6:05 in order to start getting the kids ready for school. So just making sure that you're getting enough sleep and resting, and that way you are all ready and set for your next day. All right guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it helped you out a little bit at least. And if it did, definitely let me know down in the comments if there were any ideas that you think about implementing into your day-to-day schedule. I would love to know that. And also any video ideas that you have for me. If there's anything that you want to see on my channel, I would love to know that as well. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you are interested at all in Home Chef, I will have all that information down in the description box so you can check them out as well. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!